Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Life on Track, where it's all about helping you get into the driver's seat of your own life. Not my life, not Hannah's life, your own life, personally and professionally. I'm so excited for this episode. I can't wait to bring Hannah on. But first, I'm going to just introduce the beginning of the show. Hannah, I'll bring you right back on. And you guys, I'm so excited for this. So you know that this show was conceived based on my book, Work Love, which I wrote during the pandemic about how to bring more love into the world, specifically the workplace. And also my favorite since the 90s, it was written in 1937, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is just an extraordinary book for anybody and everybody of all ages on how to create a life for yourself and a lifestyle for yourself. And richness, Think and Grow Rich can be health, it could be spirituality, it could be relationships, and obviously it could be money. And that's what today's show is all about. And when I bring Hannah on, we're having an event in the Westbury Manor here on Long Island. I am super excited for this on October 24th. It's a Monday from 12:30 to 4:30. It's a luncheon, networking. It's going to be one of the island's biggest networking events. It's going to be extraordinary. So check it out at lifeontracksummit.com. That's lifeontracksummit.com. There's going to be chicken franchise. There'll be tons of food, hors d'oeuvres, a luncheon, and networking, charities there. It's going to be an extraordinary event here on the island. So let me bring on Hannah, and I want to read her bio because she's amazing, and I don't want to leave anything out. Okay. Hannah Kessler is second generation of the infinite banking concept. This is a method Hannah and her father travel all around the country to teach how to recycle, recapture, and keep total control of your hard-earned dollars. The Money Multiplier teaches the importance of privatized banking, keeping money in the family, and how to break the bonds of financial slavery you don't even realize you're in. Hannah will be showing you how to get all the money back for every car you will ever buy, drive, and own for you and your family for the rest of your life. And if it works for a car, what else do you think it can work for? Anything, products, services, and investments. Her dreams are to build a real estate empire and become a fashion designer to start her own clothing line. With this wealth management tool, she knows those dreams will become a reality sooner than later. And yes, I totally agree. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. The sun is shining. I can't complain.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And for everybody listening, this young woman, 23 years old, she just turned 23 last month in August, 23 has the wisdom and everything financial dialed in a way that just I find extraordinary. And I'm so blessed and so excited for her to come to the event and speak about this in person. So everybody, you have to sign up, you have to register, and don't walk, run to the Westbury Manor on October 24th. So let me ask you the first talking point that I ask every expert literally since 2010 is how did you get into doing what you're doing and why?
Yeah. So truthfully, right? So I truly am second generation to this concept that we teach. And everything that we teach, it's from this black book right here, Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash. And if you don't have this black book, you got to add it to your wealth building library. Okay. So everything that we teach and go over is through that book. So I always got to give credit to Nelson Nash because he's really the gentleman that brought this concept to the public's eye. And so anyways, I got into it from my father, right? Dad actually was a chiropractor. So this was not our mojo. Yes. At that time. And so actually when I come and teach to your audience up in Long Island, actually we're from Florida. So we live in the Daytona Beach area. So I'll be flying in and teaching to y'all. And we were in your seats. We were in the audience and there was somebody up there talking about this banking concept. Hey, I can grow my wealth. I can leverage it, never lose opportunity costs where I'm in total control of the money. And so it was at that time back in 2006 when my family first heard this information. But here's the thing. We thought it was too good to be true. We bought Nelson's book. We took it home. We set it on the shelf. We didn't do anything with it. It wasn't wasn't until 2008 where our other family friends actually took the action and started implementing it. And they were hooting and hollering about this banking concept. And we're thinking, all right, maybe one or two of them are lying, but not 10 or 12 of them. So that's when we got in and started taking the action. So ever since then, I mean, it's game changer in the financial world and what you're doing, where you're in total control instead of leaving that control up to the government, the feds, and the central banks, right? I mean, everybody wants to keep maximizing their dollars.
Yes. Yes. And there's only a certain amount that you can keep in a bank at a time, that's insured. First of all, I met Chris Naugle, who co-authored this book with your dad.
Yes.
We have the Millionaire Mystery. And Chris referred me to you, which was such a blessing. But I loved hearing him speak at Secret Knock when we were at Greg Reed's event about all of this. And I can't wait for the listening audience to hear you speak about it here and also in person at the Westbury Manor, because it's just, like you said, it seems too good to be true and it seems too easy, but it's a thing. And you all have private jets and all this other fun stuff. So, okay. So the money multiplier method. So we'll start with that.
Okay. Absolutely. So yeah. So what this is, right? So this is what it's really called is the infinite banking concept. IBC is sometimes what I like to call it for short. And so what we're doing is the vehicle, right? All right. So and I'll go through this verbatim, right? When I come up there and speak live, but what we're using is a specifically engineered whole life policy. Right? It's specifically designed for this high cash value banking. So it's not just the regular old whole life that you buy off the shelves. And I know most of your listeners, you're thinking, oh, here we go. This is just life insurance. Life insurance, I'm going to shut off my computer. I'm going to run out of the room and I'm just going to vomit, right? Because we know everything there is to know about life insurance, right? Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman told me, hey, whole life is not good, right? I get it, because dad actually was one of those people that would record Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey on the TV shows and take financial advice from them. So anyways, another discussion for another time. But what we're doing and what this concept really is, it is you being your own banker, right? So instead of storing your dollars down at the central banks and your savings and your checking account, where the bankers, right, what do? They take our deposits and they turn around and they lend it back out to you or to other people, right? And they're making a good living off of your money. So all we're doing is I'm using the policy as my privatized bank. So now I'm taking loans from my bank and I'm now making that profit, interest, and dividends on myself rather than the conventional banks making it on me. So that's all I'm doing. It's really that simple. I'm just funneling my cash flow and my dollars into my policy, which is now, i.e., my bank. And then from there, I'm buying my investments. I'm buying the properties or paying my bills or I want to go on vacation, right? I'm just doing everything through my policy. And there's a lot more benefits that we can get into, but that's high level of what we're doing.
So I have a quick question for you. So as you're taking the money out of the policy and let's say investing it, right, in the Standard & Poor's, or investing it in anything, real estate, anything, or buying a car with it, or whatever it is that you want to use the money for, do you have to pay interest on your own money that you're borrowing? And if you do pay interest on it, is it that you're paying yourself the interest on the money that you're borrowing? And then how long do you have to pay that back?
Yeah, so good question. So here's the freedom of you really being your own banker. So is it in good principle to pay yourself back? Yes. Is it in good principle to play honest banker, right? Because if I go down to the conventional banks, get a loan from them, I have to pay them back. I have to pay them back with interest, and I never skip a beat in doing it because they're going to come and foreclose on me, or they're going to come and repo the car right off my lot. Yeah. So within the policy, truthfully, the answer is no, you don't have to. You don't have to pay yourself back, let alone with interest. But yes, you want to, because what we're kind of talking about and what Nelson talks about is the grocery store example. He says, do not steal the peas. Do not steal from your banking system. So to go back though, yes, I encourage you, and I hope and I assume that you are being a member of this concept, definitely pay yourself back and pay yourself back with interest. Because if you do so, yes, it goes right back to you. All of that interest and those payments I'm paying back to myself, it just goes back straight into my pocket. So truthfully, when I tell people this, because they'll ask me, they'll say, Hannah, so when you borrow from yourself, how much interest do you charge? You know how much interest I charge? 10%. 10% flat fee across the board, because I know if I'm more aggressive with that interest, it's just going to come back into my pockets anyways. And to answer that other question, right? What are the terms? When do I have to pay it back? You set those terms, right? Because at the end of the day, right, all we're doing is we're using the equity of the policy. You can almost like think of it as like the equity that you're building up inside of your home if you own your house, right? And I'm using that equity. And at the end of it all, I still have the death benefit. So the insurance company is never going to come to me and say, hey, Hannah, what are you using the money for? When are you going to pay it back? And how are you going to pay it back? They simply don't care, because at the end of it, I'm guaranteed to die. I like to use the word graduate, but you all can use whatever word you want. But I'm guaranteed to graduate. And at that time, I have that death benefit. So any outstanding loans that I don't pay back, that I'm using to create more cash flowing assets with, that's just going to get subtracted from the death benefit. And then the remaining portion now gets paid out to my beneficiaries. So in the end, the insurance company can never lose. And that's why loans are never required to be paid back.
So what is the difference between old school, like years ago, with the insurance, whole life insurance policies, or whatever they were, term life insurance policies, and this one now? Like, how do people know exactly what to look for?
Yes. So definitely you want to work with, well, actually, I'll make it broader. So like whole life, right? When we think of whole life, we think of the regular old whole life that we buy off the shelf. And in those regular whole life policies, it takes a few years to build up cash value. $0 of cash in those first few years. So with these policies, all we're doing is how we're designing them with a specific rider called the paid up additions rider. And that word will become more familiar if you start to dive in this world. We call it PUA for short, paid up additions. And truthfully, the majority of your premium is being plugged into that paid up additions. And that's where our early years cash value is coming from. So that's what makes it a little unique and different.
I love this. And then the compounding effect, especially when you start investing in this young, in your 20s, I would think that if you, tell me if I'm wrong, if you invest like $100 a month, just $100, then by 65, you'll have well over $1 million.
Oh, absolutely.
And then, so what would you say your figures are? Let me just shut this alarm off. What would you say your figures are with regard to that kind of financing? If a young person in their 20s, like my kid's age, start investing each of them $100 in one of these accounts, let's say from 25 to 45.
Yeah.
What would you say that the numbers would look like?
Oh man, we're doubling at that point, honestly. Well, here I'll tell you factual numbers. Okay, I know you're asking about mine, but I'll tell you factual, because I just looked at my mom's policy about a week ago, and her policy just turned 14 years old.
Okay.
And in this year, when she put $1 into that policy, she was able to take out $2.42. She had 142% growth inside of her policy just that year. And that's just that year. Next year, I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be greater than the 142% she got this year.
Wow. And I'm guessing that your mom is my age and she started 17 years ago. Wow. Wow. Okay. Now, last question, and then we're going to go to recapture and recycle your money. With regard to, let's say you have health risks, is it like any other life insurance that you just have to make sure that you qualify?
Yes, I will agree. Yes. So in order to qualify for a policy, because at the end of the day, it is life insurance. So you got to qualify on the health side. But here's the catch, right? And keep in mind, everybody's overweight. Everybody's got a little bit of high blood pressure, right? That's not going to disqualify you.
Right.
But you know, if I have somebody with cancer or they just got their 10 feet of their intestines removed, they're probably not going to qualify for a policy right now. But the cool thing is, right, I'm not doing this for the death benefit purposes. Yeah, you know, death benefit is the cherry on top of the cake, but really I'm using it for the banking and the financing aspect of the policy. So even if you can't qualify, use a spouse, a child, a business partner, siblings, parents, right? You can
Oh,
use another body, put the policy on them, and you be the owner of that policy. You still
huh.
be able to use the benefits of the banking concept.
Oh, that's so I can get insurance. Let's say I don't qualify
Mhm,
because of cancer and everything else that I had going on in my life. I can I can get my own through one of my kids who's over the age of 18 or 21.
mhm.
And
Actually, they don't even have to be 18 too. You can even do them on all minors. But yes.
really?
Mhm,
Oh wow. Okay. I mean, this is just unbelievable. This is amazing.
mhm,
Okay, so I want to get into the because I could talk to you all day long about this, going
mhm.
back and forth. But I want to get to your talking points. The recapture and recycle your money.
Yes, yes.
How do people recapture and recycle the money?
Absolutely. Because so where I want to start is, and this is my favorite part. I love talking about this all day long. Opportunity costs. People need to understand opportunity costs a lot more than what they do, because right now, right, a lot of people, let's use the example of like a car. When we want to go down and buy a car, there's one of three ways of how we would do it, right? Number one is we pay cash, right? And a
Right.
lot of people, they love to pay cash because they think, hey, if I'm paying cash, I have no payment and I don't have to pay any interest. And I'll come back to that. Is that true? Do you really not pay any interest when you're using cash? I'll come back to that. And then number two is bank financing, right? Traditional bank, hey, go get a loan, go get a car note, right? And now I'm making my payments and I got to pay interest to the banks. And number three, hopefully we're all honest people and you're not stealing the car, right? But that would be number three. So, so with the cash, right? So we always think and y'all kind of bump up your chest like this. You say, I'm gonna go pay cash for my car, right? And and the reason you think that is because you're thinking, hey, no payments, I don't have to pay any interest. But is that true? Because think about it. If I want to go buy a $25,000 car, that 25,000 is sitting in my bank account. It's earning me interest. Yes, I know it's less than 1%, but it's earning me interest. And now I just take that 50,000, or I said 25. I take that 25,000 and I go give it to the car salesman. And once I've done that, he gives me the car, he gets his money, everybody walks away. But I've just lost that 25,000 because it was in my pocket earning me interest. And now in order to get that 25 back in my pocket earning me interest again, I got to go work for it. I got to go earn it somehow, right?
Good
So
point.
so with the policy, when I'm talking about recycling and recapturing the dollars, with the policy, as soon as that dollar hits the policy, now starts the time clock of the uninterrupted compounding interest. So as soon as I funnel the money through there, I now have the cash value sitting in the policy. Let's make believe it's 25,000. I take the 25,000 out, I go give it to the car salesman. He gives me the car, I give him his money. But now I've never lost the interest that I'm earning on that 25,000 because I funneled it through the policy first. And so now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to play that honest banker with myself, just like if I were to go traditionally bank finance it. Because, hey, Hannah, you took a loan from your bank, treat your money just how you treat the bank's money. So let's pay yourself back. How much do you want to pay yourself back each month for the car? How much interest do you want to pay yourself back? What's the time frame? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, right? And so that's really where the freedom comes in of being your own banker.
This is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love this. I don't know why everybody's not doing this. It's
Yeah.
seriously, when I heard Chris speak about this first, it was just like, whoosh,
Mhm.
and I worked on Wall Street. It's
Yeah.
just people don't know. Years
No.
ago in the late 80s, it's been a long time. It's been a hot minute, but
And actually, I do want to touch on that too, if you don't mind, Erin.
yeah, yeah.
Because really, all we're doing, we're not reinventing the wheel, doing anything different. I mean, this concept's been around longer than our tax code's been here. Tax code's only been here since 1913. And so really, when you start to hone in on who owns these types of policies, go Google something called BOLI, BOLI, and it stands for Bank Owned Life Insurance. Banks are the number one purchasers, there we go, number one purchasers of whole life insurance in the whole entire world. And actually, matter of fact, since 2013, they've even quadrupled their portfolio of how much whole life they actually own. And is it because they're stupid, or are they doing something the rest of us don't know about? So all we're doing is just mimicking and imitating what the elite and the wealthy are doing.
It's amazing. And thank God that you're out there now telling everybody and anybody that'll listen about this. It's like spiritual law. People understand physical law, like the law of gravity, everything hits the ground. Nobody knows why. It just is the law of gravity. But people don't really understand or buy into the law of reciprocity, the law of karma, the law of, the law of attraction. But anyway, and this is just because they don't know. So what you're speaking about, people just don't know. But when you tap into it, like universal law, it's just miracles start to happen. And it's the same thing like with you, with what you do. When people tap into this, the financials just multiply, the money multiplier. I mean, really. Okay. Yes. So then the next talking point is, how can I learn more about this money?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, if this is like, and maybe some of your audience has heard something like this, or maybe they, because actually I get folks all the time on the phone, they'll say, I've heard about this about 10 years ago, but I just didn't understand it. It wasn't explained like how you explained it. I just didn't get it. And I never started. And so anyways, if you do want to learn more, we're always out there on YouTube. We have a podcast, the Money Multiplier podcast, but truthfully, I would go to the presentation. If you go to our website, themoneymultiplier.com, up on the top, there's the resources. If you hover over resources, you'll find the presentation, and that will take you through the full foundation knowledge of why do we want to do this? How are we doing it? What's even going on over here? So I would start there to really understand the foundation of the infinite banking concept as your solid grounding first.
It's amazing. Okay, so quick question. If you're over 50, is it too late to start something like this? Obviously, ideally, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, and the next best time is now. But is it like, is it worth doing over 50?
Absolutely. Actually, it's just funny. Somebody yesterday in our Facebook group asked that question. Everybody was commenting, no, 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 no. So, yeah, no. Actually, my oldest member, we got him approved last year, 78 years old.
I love that. I love that. So even as a banking system, the life insurance part of it, definitely. But even as a bank, well, no. Yes. Well, if you're older, like 78, if you have the health issues, then you're not going to be able to qualify. Right. You wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You got to qualify, but you can always put those policies on other bodies too.
I love that you said that, because I didn't even realize you could do that, but it's good. It's legal to be able to do that. And so with regards to the banking part of it, it's still worth doing that as opposed to any other investing at an older age.
Because in my opinion, the policy, I don't look at the policy as the investment. The policy in my eyes is nothing more than just my glorified savings account. And through the policy is how I go buy my investments. Because in my opinion, the definition of an investment, it can go up and it can go down. Yeah. In the policy, it can never go down. It's classified as an appreciating asset. So what I do is I use the policy, and yeah, I like real estate. I like private lending. I like note investing, and that's what I'll go put my policy dollars into. And then with the returns of those investments coming in, I'll start funneling the money back into the policy again.
You're amazing. 23 years old. Look at you. And, it's really, really. And first of all, your parents must be so proud of you. And the fact that you're continuing with your father's business and that you could speak so eloquently and energetically, and you're a great speaker, Hannah. Really, you're a fabulous speaker. So they must be thrilled that you're able to carry on the family business.
No, and they are.
and I'm proud to know you.
I
I'm
am
excited to
too.
meet you in person. This is so cool. So I know you have a free gift for the listening audience also, which is mapping out the Millionaire Mystery book.
I do. And y'all, even if you want a hard copy, I just charge you $3 for the shipping. So if you want a hard copy, you can reach out. But Erin, I imagine you'll say this. They can send me an email, and I'll send them the copy of the ebook.
Let's just say it out loud. It's Hannah. Go ahead. You say it.
Hannah at themoneymultiplier.com.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. All right. And the time is still going at 25:14. So it didn't cut out. That has never happened to me before. All of a sudden I was like, where did I go? You're fabulous. You're amazing. And I want people to also go to, you brought this up earlier, themoneymultiplier.com, where they can go and see the presentation and see much more about you. And do you want me to put up how they can schedule a call with you too? Because they have to run to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You can put up my calendar link or perfect. Yes. You can go to my calendar link or shoot me an email. I'll even give y'all my cell phone number over the line. Okay. Cause that's how I do all my business. I'm a big texter. If you ever want to text me. But my phone number is 913-908-3511. And I hope to catch y'all in New York though. I hope to see you all.
Yes, in Westbury, Long Island, Westbury, New York, at the Westbury Manor. It's beautiful. And Hannah, we have the whole first floor. So in the beginning, there'll be a book. I'll do a book signing, and the book sales. 100% of the proceeds will go to Mitzi Perdue's the fight against human trafficking, and the other half of the proceeds will go to my friend Terry Magro's the Michael Magro Foundation for Pediatric Cancer. She lost her son's pediatric cancer, and you are going to be our special guest speaker at lunchtime over chicken franchise or a vegetarian alternative. And you're going to just enlighten people and educate people and teach them, share with them everything that you know, everything we talked about here, and then some, because you're going to be up there for a full hour, and then you'll take questions and do Q&A off stage. And I want people to really reach out to you guys, and set up an appointment. And really, don't walk, run, people. Don't walk, run. She will help you not just save money, but take that saved money and just compound interest, make more money than you'd make anywhere on the planet. And so anyway, thank you so much for everything, Hannah. And thank you so much for being here with us today. Schedule a call with Hannah, and also go to themoneymultiplier.com. And
thank you for having me, Erin.
You're the best. You're the best. So just hang on. I'm going to finish this, and then I'll speak to you afterwards for 2 seconds. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This show is going to go out over Apple TV and Amazon Fire, or Amazon Fire and Roku and all the big channels, as well as my social media. And I just started a new YouTube channel, so smash the subscribe button or whatever they say.
They say nowadays.
And subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Erin Lay - Life on Track. And so thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. Have a magnificent day, and always remember to live onward and upward. Love you.